Tonight, a global computer outage hits. Passengers at Edinburgh Airport are asked to leave as flights are cancelled. Others faced queues and delays.
Information here at the airport, nobody could tell us anything. It was terrible.
Also making the headlines, a warning of rats and piles of rubbish this summer. Will a fresh pay offer be enough to prevent bin collection workers from strike action?
Glasgow needs a reset and a deep clean. There is rubbish piling up and there's rats everywhere. The place is a mess.
Thousands are expected to head to Oban this weekend as the World Clipper race sets off on its final leg.
And tonight's sport comes from Royal Troon, where Irishman Shane Lowry is the player to catch on day 2 of the Open.
I'm Kellyanne Woodland. This is the STV News at 6. Good evening. Thousands of passengers flying in or out of Edinburgh Airport have been met with significant delays or cancellations after it was severely hit by a global computer outage. The airport's own systems, as well as those of several airlines, were badly affected. But Scotland seems to have escaped the worst of the problems, which elsewhere involved banks, retailers and the health service. Here's our senior reporter, Gordon Cree.
This is what the aftermath of a worldwide IT meltdown looks like. These passengers queuing to check in manually or even find out if their flight was going ahead at all. Ryanair, Eurowings and some of the American operators were worst hit. This group is a school trip of 27 teenagers who've been in Scotland for a week and want to get home to Stuttgart.
What have the airline been telling you?
Nothing. We called Eurowings and there wasn't any information or not much information. Here at the airport, nobody could tell us anything. It was terrible.
So we don't know if we should take another flight, if we should wait, if we should go to a hotel, we don't know.
The problem became apparent overnight, first coming to light in Australia as Friday's business began. And as the hours went by, it became clear the whole world was caught up in this. An update from the antivirus company CrowdStrike meant any Microsoft Windows machine running it was at risk of failure.
You get this blue screen of death and then the computer reboots. It's possible to recover from that. It requires going into safe mode and then deleting particular files. And that's quite fiddly and probably has to be done individually for every single computer that's been affected.
At the airport, everything from Wi-Fi to information signs to the security scanning systems crashed. That meant massive queues of people waiting to get through.
Normally, when you arrive at the airport, you go inside, check in. If you've got luggage, go upstairs to security, and it's a relatively straightforward process. But not this morning. The snake of people just here, that is the security queue. I'm told that from here to the front is about an hour.
A combination of that and problems for individual airlines saw some passengers miss flights despite being here.
We then went to the gate that we were meant to be at the time that eventually showed up, and the plane's gone. Nothing about what was happening or nothing over the tannoy.
We were sitting there for over an hour. We know that they never announced it. 50 other people from our flight are in the same situation, so I think it's the lack of support and help.
As backups were put in place, the security queue quickly dissipated, but the knock-on effect of disruption and delays at other airports and limited landing slots available meant cancellations would continue.
We totally understand it's a very frustrating thing, but our passengers actually have been really patient with us. They've been really good-humoured, but we do understand the frustration of people that are perhaps been looking forward to a holiday and not getting there right away, and other important travels being disrupted. So we're trying our best to support them, and I know our airlines are doing the same.
This should have been one of the busiest days of the year for Edinburgh Airport, with more than 50,000 travellers. The worst is over, but things remain far from normal.
And Gordon, what's the latest tonight?
Well, Kellyanne, aside from the airport and a few glitches in some parts of the NHS, I think we can say Scotland has escaped the worst of this. I've been inside just a little while ago and things look a lot more routine now than they did in our pictures from just a few hours ago. And having just got the latest figures on cancellations, 26 flights into here and 26 flights out of here have been cancelled today. What does that mean? A lot of planes in the wrong places, a lot of people seeking alternative flights because of those cancellations. I have to say, those we've spoken to, while there is clear frustration, most have been pretty calm rather than angry. The staff at the airport have done an immense job to get things back up and running so quickly, but the knock-on effect is likely to continue into tonight and probably until tomorrow. So as ever in these situations, the advice is, if you are due to travel, check with your airline before coming to the airport. Kellyanne.
All right, sound advice. Thanks very much for that, Gordon. Now, a war zone of litter. That's how one union has described the scale of the cleansing and rubbish problem in Glasgow. It comes as national strike action could paralyse bin collections during August, targeting big events across the country like the Edinburgh Fringe. The body representing local authorities, COSLA, has presented a new offer of 3.2%. But unions warn it's not enough to stop strike action. Vanessa Taff has more.
He's become one of the symbols of Glasgow. Cludgy, the 7-foot inflatable rat. Bin workers in the city are faced with the real deal every day.
You go abroad, the cities are pristine. We are 100% behind this plan to regenerate this city. Our members work in this city, they live in this city. But if you want a cafe culture, then you can't have a rat culture.
The body representing local councils, COSLA, have tabled a fresh offer of 3.2%. Unions are warning strikes will be inevitable next month if there isn't an improved pay deal.
We are quite clearly staying here is just a common theme in majority of parts of the country now. Glasgow needs a reset and a deep clean. There is rubbish piling up and there's rats everywhere. The place is a mess. Cuts have consequences and you can't cut your way out of a crisis. And now we find ourselves in a midst of a crisis, particularly the rat epidemic. Our members deserve better, and I'm hoping the Scottish Government and COSLA take on board the businesses and the workers and get round the table, come up with a credible offer so we can divert any kind of strike action.
And it's not just bins. Cuts to services like grass maintenance and weed management are providing the perfect nesting ground for rodents. There are fears Edinburgh could suffer another summer of rubbish piled high in the streets during its busiest month. COSLA say the revised offer is strong, fair and credible. Unions will meet with council representatives again on Monday. Vanessa Taff, STV News.
Let's take a look at other stories now. And a violent rapist has been jailed for 14 years after assaulting and abusing 3 women and a child over the course of a decade. 55-year-old Alistair Nicholson was found guilty of committing the crimes between 1991 and 2001 in Argyll and Bute and the Highlands. The Royal College of Nursing has warned that more action is needed to stop nurses quitting the profession. There's been a 2% net increase in the number of nurses registered in Scotland, but the RCN says there is an upward trend in those leaving. A survey by the union found retirement, poor health and burnout were the top 3 reasons. And an online scam claiming to sell Highland cows has been exposed after people turned up to buy them at a country park. Falkirk Council says the cows at Muiravenside were put up for sale on a fake website. Trading Standards say the website had also been used to scam puppy sales. Thousands are expected to head to Oban this weekend as the World Clipper Race sets off on its final leg. It's hoped the spectators and the 11 race crews taking part will prove an economic boost to the town and become a regular feature on the sailing calendar. Ollie Dickinson has more.
After 11 months at sea, visiting 9 countries via 15 different ports, the crews of the Clipper Race have circumnavigated the globe and seen the world. And now, for the first time in its 28-year history, the race has arrived in Oban.
Do you know, I've been wanting to bring the Clipper Race to Scotland for the last 28 years. The reception the crews had was phenomenal. You know, it was properly Scottish, you know, pipes, all the right things that people expect from a Scottish arrival. And I think the crews are going to have that fantastic memory to take away from here.
11 teams are taking part. Some of those on board the 78-foot vessels have limited sailing experience, a daunting task in some of the hardest waters in the world.
This is one of the hardest ocean race for amateur out there. And at times, when we were on the boat, and especially when we're going through the notorious Southern Ocean and the North Pacific, the conditions were beyond my imagination.
So this is one of the only ports that I've had somebody had to actually come and see me. So I had a cousin that travelled from the States to come in, and we also had a lot of crew members that had returned, that we hadn't seen since leg 1, leg 2, leg 3, and all of these have come down to see us. Some of them have sailed down, and yeah, it was actually quite emotional kind of coming in. Yeah, but very exciting. It was amazing.
Oban's front has been decked out in full race colours, with locals and tourists taking a look at what's on offer. Just up from the harbour, a special market has been set up, celebrating local business. All are hoping for a slice of the cash the crews and visitors bring with them.
Yeah, definitely, because as you say, it opens up to a massive, audience up here as well. Just as tourists coming to the area asking about the beer, asking about the brewery, and I can chat to them all about what they need to know, answer any questions anyone has about the brewery and the brand as well.
The racers head off on Sunday on their last leg down to Portsmouth. But if the high seas aren't for you, there's always Oban's new chocolate sailboats. Ollie Dickinson, STV News, Oban.
Now, other stories in the West, and firefighters at Glasgow Airport have secured a pay rise. Unite the Union confirmed workers agreed a 4.5% basic wage increase and a similar rise in shift allowance. They've also secured double time for public holidays and time and a half for overtime. The deal runs from the 1st of January to the end of this year. The Lawn Tennis Association has committed £5 million towards a planned tennis centre near Dunblane that will mark the achievements of the Murray brothers. The project, which is led by Judy Murray, aims to build a community centre at Park of Care focusing on racket sports. Now, instead of being a time for families to rest, play and have fun together, the summer holidays leave many parents worrying about how to pay for it all. The cost of holiday camps is 2.5 times more expensive than after-school clubs during term time and can add up to more than £1,000 per child over the 6-week break. Kayla Hutchison reports.
It's a chance for school pupils to take stock, relax and recharge. But the summer holidays can be a pricey affair and a stressful time for families.
You're worrying about how you're feeding them, how you're putting gas and liquor in, and then met to the point, what is it you're doing with them? You're trying to do stuff for the holidays, do you know what I mean? And you've left with next to nothing.
Without free school lunches to fall back on, places like this help keep costs down during the long summer break.
$10.75. They help a lot. I come in here £20 and get 2 bags full and just to go to the juice for the wee man and sugar, so I think we need more of them.
For working parents, the average weekly holiday childcare bill is now £167 per child. It's around £100 more than they would be paying for after-school clubs during term time, and adds up to just over £1,000 for every child over the 6-week break.
We have a lot of parents coming in now that are bringing their kids with them. It will really help them during this time. Everything is cheaper than you can get in the shops. So yeah, obviously we want to offer that to as many people as possible.
To help ease the burden on parents, this summer food programme in North Glasgow provides free childcare and hot meals.
It just takes a real pressure off the parents because the kids come in here, they get their breakfast in the morning, they get their lunch free of charge, they leave with a snack, so we know that every kid is not going hungry.
Sky 7, she's been coming for the last few years to the club. It's hard, it's more the increase of prices with everything, between foods, days out, places to take your kids. Glasgow weather isn't the best, so you're having to take the kids places. That's extortionate. You have so many working families that use this club, and it's a lifeline for them.
But unfortunately, they've had to cut their placement numbers by more than half after failing to secure funding from the council. Despite this, they are determined to keep their doors open for as many families as possible.
It's always full. So when we ran it before, it was 150 kids. The 150 kids were there. We would have a waiting list, and obviously it's the same now. So it was a no-brainer for us to make sure that we were still there for the parents, because it might have been a crisis point for some of the parents if they didn't have it.
Glasgow City Council says their £2 million holiday programme budget isn't large enough to cover every organisation bidding for funding. Jamie and Ryan are now crowdfunding to keep their summer programme up and running. Caitlin Hutchison, STV News in Glasgow.
Well, it's been another challenging day for the golfers at Royal Troon, and Rahman is there for us tonight. Rahman.
STV Sport, sponsored by the C.R. Smith Summer Sale.
A very good evening from Royal Troon on day 2 of the Open. And yes, once again, the players have had to deal with blustery conditions. Shane Lowry is the player to catch. He holds a 2-shot lead. The Irishman is in the clubhouse on 7 under par. Justin Rose and world #1 Scotty Scheffler are amongst the challengers. Robert McIntyre's second round got off to a disastrous start. He shot 2 triple bogeys and 2 bogeys in his first 4 holes and is in danger of missing the cut, which is projected at 5 over par. Here's Jamie Borthwick.
Trying to do well and mix it with the guys way more often and get on the PGA Tour.
Sit back and watch a bit of golf in the afternoon and see where it leaves me come the end of the day, and get out there tomorrow. And you know, the job tomorrow, I suppose, is try and put myself in a position to win this tournament.
David Moyes was awesome. He took the club from one spot to another, and I think it's time to pass the torch. And I think Julian's going to do a good job, and I think David's got something up his sleeve in the next couple of years, and I think maybe the Scottish national jobs manager is going to be his.
Well, Tiger Woods is heading home. The 3-time Open champion had another round to forget. He's on 14 over par and will miss the cut by some margin. But Woods has vowed to be back playing at a major in Scotland. We caught up with him after his round today.
How did you feel about your round today?
Well, it wasn't very good. Made a double there too, right off the hopper when I need to go the other way. Just was fighting it pretty much all day. I never really hit it close enough to make birdies. The different types of links that you know Scotland brings and the challenges are. I've missed playing Troon. It's been a long time. I remember playing here way back in '97. So I've had some good memories here. I just wish that they were a little bit better, and look forward to it.
Well, 250,000 spectators are expected to attend the championship. But what is experience like when they get here? Ronnie Charters has been finding out.
So the 152nd Open is in full swing, and we are expecting one of the busiest days of the week. On the course, the players are battling to make the cut for the weekend. But here, in and amongst the fans, what does day 2 of these Open Championships have in store?
You just feel it, don't you? Yeah. You watch it on the telly, you'll see every shot. You just get it here, don't you?
And you've travelled a wee bit. Tell us a wee bit about that.
I came in from Florida, mate, so it's good. This young man in from the States, first time, never left the States.
Owen, you've got a very special job here today. Just tell us a wee bit about that.
Yep. I'm keeping track of the scoreboards, making sure everything's okay. As the players come in, I respond to on a little phone. I update it through, it's just little plastic cards that I put in, slot through. Easy as that, and I keep update on my radio.
Who have you got your eye on in the practice grounds at the moment? Who you liking the look of?
Well, everybody. But yeah, Tommy's hitting it really, really nicely. Obviously, Rory's just come out. Bob's looking really good as well.
Well, we're from the Edinburgh Golf Club, so there's 70 of us marshalling here. We're doing the full gambit. So there's about 20 of us on a shift, and we rotate every 20 minutes or so.
30 mile an hour winds. Kilt was a brave choice today. Have you not had any fashion malfunctions or anything like that yet? No,
not yet, thankfully. I'll keep my fingers crossed and my legs crossed.
Yeah, I'm Sean Lowry. I came over from Ireland to Troon, and Shane Lowry is my nephew. Yeah.
Tell us about the pride you're having for that man.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like, we were in Portrush and we thought we'd never better that, but I get the feeling, you know. I get the feeling.
You got a feeling for this weekend?
I have a feeling, yeah. I have a feeling.
I tell you,
I
if you've
hope it
just
stays
jinxed,
that
if
way.
you've just jinxed him, we're going to send him this. Rita, we've got a nice wee glass of fizz in our hand. What more could you ask for on a nice day at the Open, eh?
It's been fantastic. Been up since 3 o'clock, and we've talked to everybody, and everybody is really buzzing, and they're just loving watching all the golfers.
Thank you so much. So, as this day draws to a close, it's fair to say Open fans certainly have had their Open experience today. Now, all eyes will look towards the weekend and we'll find out who really is the toast of Troon. Ronnie Charters, STV Sport at the Open Championship. Magic.
And Ronnie is away for a wee lie down. OK, let's give you some football news now. And Turkey side Trabzonspor are in discussions with Rangers over the transfer of James Tavernier after their initial bid for the Ibrox skipper was rejected. Tavernier has been at the club for 9 years but could leave if Rangers' valuation is met. The right-back has scored 125 goals in 460 games during his time in Glasgow. Trabzonspor signed John Lundstrom and Borna Banisic last month after their contracts at Ibrox came to an end. Now, Scotland's women's side have been drawn against Hungary in the playoffs for next summer's Euros in Switzerland. Pedro Martinez-Losa's team will be away for the first leg at the end of October before hosting the Hungarians. Should the Scots progress, they will face either Finland or Montenegro for a place at Euro 2025. And that, folks, is all of your sport live from Royal Troon.
STV Sport, sponsored by the C.R. Smith Summer Sale.
Well, it's been a surprisingly warm day, despite it looking a touch overcast. Let's get the forecast now with Sean.
A spell of wows will gradually settle into a scattering of traditional tapas. TUI sponsors STV Weather.
Very good evening to you. Now, if you've been wondering where our heatwave is, the main bubble of warm air for us has been about 100 miles east in the North Sea. Had that been closer to us, our temperatures would have exceeded 25 today. Although it has been feeling quite humid and muggy out there today, a lot of cloud around, particularly humid where that sun has managed to pop out in between the clouds. We've seen a bit of rain coming into the west as well, and that rain will be creeping its way eastwards overnight. Many of us quite cloudy and damp, particularly so around the west coast and the Hebrides, where we hang on to that rain really through much of the day. I think, though, the further east we go, across Lanarkshire into lights of Falkirk, Stirlingshire, here the best chance of drier, brighter weather to start with tomorrow, but then clouding over with some outbreaks of rain coming in later on the day. Fresh tomorrow, the west coast, 15, 16 degrees Celsius, warmest further east. Top temperatures around 19 or 20 as we head towards lights of West Lothian and also around Fife. So very wet tomorrow night. If you've got plans, you're perhaps going to have a wee gathering set outside. It is looking very wet, although it still will be quite warm for many of us. The rain clears away and then we're back to drier weather on Sunday, but still the risk of a few showers around, and it will be feeling quite a bit fresher. Unfortunately, well, with that rain around tomorrow, it's not looking good for the Open. Plenty of rain, the heaviest of that rain coming through later on in the afternoon. Back to sunshine, as I say, on Sunday. Next week, unfortunately, the weather picture is still quite mixed. Temperatures roughly around average. Bye-bye.
TUI sponsors STV Weather.
And that is all for now from all of us here on the team. Enjoy your Friday nights. Bye-bye.